So to be clear, the plan was to stall the trial long enough to get Trey captured. While we could have, in theory, gotten off with a not guilty, just from lack of evidence that Thorne was showing, I suppose that failed when we, got Thorne thrown off the case. And then we got ourselves dug into a different hole. Was this just an agreement to get... I was going to say, did they know about the other thing? Conrad know about the other thing beforehand? This thing beforehand from Thorne? And just like, Thorne's gonna not show it because it seems really sus. I guess we'll see what Trey testifies to. It feels like, in order for it to make sense that we wouldn't want to just end this trial quickly and get her the not guilty, he would have had to have known about this. Which still bugs. Just something's... I'll give it time before I let it grab me further, but it's just something rubs me the wrong way about how this came together. Did you place the bomb that exploded at 7:20 p.m. yesterday? Of course I didn't. You may not have said it personally, but did you detonate it? What? No way. So you deny any involvement? Like I said, I have nothing to do with this. I don't know anything about any bombs. I think you know quite a bit about bombs. You can deduce this from your actions yesterday. What are you saying? You should explain that you know more than you're letting on. Yesterday you planted this fake bomb in the basement of the dining hall. Considering that there was another bomb that went off around the same time, I find it hard to believe that two bombs were just a coincidence. But it is a coincidence. Cuban Cross, it is possible, however unlikely, that the incidents are unrelated. What motive would this terrorist have to collapse a building so far from his target? To create a diversion, as the police were responding to the collapse. They would be drawn away from the dining hall. No, I would never do that. They'll put the city on watch. The mission was supposed to be stealthy. I can't tell if he's telling the truth. Perhaps you should explain the details of your plan to the court. So long as you are willing to cooperate. I got nothing to lose. I'll talk, but only on the basics of the plan. Nothing detailed. I'd like to cross-examine this testimony. Permission granted. Please proceed. I still really love the differences between just direct testimony and cross-examination. As a man of action, I took it upon myself to crash the party. Me and two others planned to enter the building quietly. We did this thanks to the basement-level parking lot. From there, we were able to take an elevator straight to the dining hall. Then we would simply wave some guns around until we got our money. That was it. That's the whole plan. So you're saying all you planned to do was demand money using hostages? Yep, pretty simple stuff if you ask me. You didn't mention the zero data. That is curious. Did Ajax pressure him to keep quiet? Or does he not want the public to know? Whatever the case, I shouldn't bring it up either. Conrad, he just contradicted himself. I know. Let's go back over his testimony and point out the flaw. plan was more complex than he made it out to be. I can't mention the zero data. There must be something else he left out. I wonder what we should present here. That's enough. I have evidence that contradicts that statement. Then please share it. Ah, it's right here. I have something for you. Right here. I should look through the statements with more care next time. Oh, right. He had a fake bomb also. Duh. Of course. You said that your plan was only to take hostages at the dining hall. But that can't be true. Namely, because you had this fake bomb. Ah, I suppose I did. For the sake of argument, it's possible the bomb was not part of the original plan. Perhaps it was a last resort, or a heat-of-the-moment decision. Not possible. The fake bomb was prepared beforehand. That alone makes it possible for Trey to know about the real one. I didn't prepare the fake bomb. I'm telling ya, I have nothing to do with any bombs. In fact, you can't prove I was even in the basement level in the first place. What? That's right, I wasn't even there. That would prove the fake bomb isn't mine. See, I'm not connected to any of this. We have witnesses. Correct. Witnesses that were with you at the time. We've already seen how the human Thorn tried to sabotage the fairness of this trial. It's possible you convinced him and Miss Flocking to lie for you. Oh, it's not it at all. Order. Well, Cross. Do you have any evidence to prove Trey was in the basement? Don't say the fake bomb. We can't prove it was connected to him. Blood? There was something else in the basement level that's caught my eye. Pool of blood. Blood? Oh. I believe this pool of blood was left by you, Trey. It came from your injury that you sustained in the shootout with Dare. Ah, no, that's not my blood. Was it some helpless victim you attacked? Perhaps we should settle this with an analysis. I see. Bailiff, run a test on the blood in the basement level. A test, huh? If we're lucky, it should prove Trey was there. Results are back, sir. Processing. I see. Well, the blood in the parking level belongs to Isaac Bryan. Well, that's unexpected. What? The victim? Affirmative. The victim of the bombing. Bled at the dining hall basement level. Well, this just got more complicated. How did that happen? He was nowhere near the dining hall at 7:20. He was crushed. I can't say when he was at the parking level. Only that he was there at some point. Maybe someone moved his blood to the parking level. If what the human Cross witnessed is true, the blood was there since 7:20. It would be physically impossible to move from there to the office in a short time. We can only assume he was at the parking level sometime before 7 p.m. yesterday. What does this mean? At any rate, you have yet to prove that the suspect Trey is involved with the real bomb. What should I do? I don't know. Trey, I need you to tell us the truth. This is our only lead. He has to be the one who placed that bomb. Did you enter the office building before 7 p.m.? How many times do I have to say it? I didn't do it. I never came close to that building. If it witness refuses to talk, that is his choice. Regardless of your suspicions, we can't keep going in circles. This terrorist has other crimes to atone for. Excellent. Remove the human Trey from the stand and place him in confinement. You can't hold me down. No prison has ever held me. You'll see. Show you all. 209 Dive will show the world that we're serious. Okay, now what? Well, we're back to square one. Not quite. The prosecution now has 2 pieces of evidence that support its claim. And the puny defense has no alternative suspects to harass. This isn't good, we need to think fast. Defense, I'd like to call a witness to the stand. Go on. Well, we'd like to call Skylar. Skylar? Skylar who? You know, the only Skylar, the one at the dining hall. Anybody know his last name? Funnily enough, he's already here. Bring him to the stand. Alright. Where's this going now? What? Why am I here? I'd like to question you. Conrad, what are you doing? Why would you know anything about the bombing? Skylar, you knew, didn't you? Come again! You knew about the bombing before the detonation. Why would you say that? I had no clue. When the explosion went off, you seemed more nervous than the rest. You seemed to have already suspected a bomb would go off. If I recall correctly, you said this isn't good. You weren't shocked at what happened. You knew we'd be attacked. This is curious indeed. Did you really suspect the incident would happen? Well, I... Do not lie to this court. I've had enough shenanigans for one day. Alright, sure. I suspected a bombing would happen. Please testify why you thought this. I'd like to cross-examine his statement. Granted. Please give your testimony to the court. Well, alright. It's true. I knew something was happening, but I didn't know the details. I only know because I found a note. It said something about a plan starting soon. It was anonymous. I don't know what. I didn't know who sent it. I destroyed the note as soon as I got it. I don't know where it is now. Something to do with this drone shit, doesn't it? So you knew something bad was going to happen because of this note. It didn't have any details. So I couldn't have known a building would be bombed. Where did you find this item? It was at the dining hall, sometime before the bomb went off. That doesn't seem right. Did you know something bad would happen? The note was so vague, it could have meant anything. Well, it was the wording. It made it seem like someone was telling an accomplice to get ready. Accomplice? It's not adding up. Let's go back over his testimony and find the contradiction. We destroyed the note after he got it. It's very convenient. What if he knows more than he's letting on? I don't know what to make of this. wonder if we present Thorne's note. That's why it's still in evidence. Yes, I know I paused right before the beat dropped. There we go. Yes, alright. So you found a note and then destroyed it. Must have had this all backwards. I don't see the issue with what was said. The issue is that you didn't destroy it. The note still exists. What? In fact, I have it with me right here. The note that Skylar found actually said, "Watch me carefully. The plan is about to execute." Aye! But that's... I've been understanding this wrong. This note wasn't written by Thorne. He didn't give it to us to send us a message. He gave it to us because this was vital evidence. Aha! And where did the human Thorne find such a note? We'll have to ask him. Send someone to find him. Incredible. So that means the bomber was at the dining hall. Yes, it's incredibly likely that the true culprit was among us. But what if the culprit just dropped the note there and left? That would just complicate things even more. I find this amusing. How so? Need I remind the court that the defendant was in the dining hall? This just proves the human Chloe was the bomber. I mean, I can afford to take a penalty. And by that logic, I could be the true bomber. Or you, Ajax. It's not Chloe's fault that she was there yesterday. Sir, we just received word from Prince Thorne. Yes? Said he found the note in the trash can at the dining hall. Trash can. The note was thrown out. The note was thrown out, not destroyed. That's something I'd like to propose to the court. Perhaps we should perform an analysis on the note. Analysis? I'd like to check the handwriting. Maybe it could lead us to the culprit. It would take some time. Get it started, bailiff. Meantime, I'd like to ask Skylar, did you really find the note? Eh? What now? You already lied about destroying this note. Did you lie about finding it as well? Well... Tell us the truth. You're already suspect enough. Well? It's no use. He will not speak. Leave it to me. You will not threaten any more witnesses, Counselor. He has the right to remain silent. Time to think. We need to piece this together. We assume Skylar didn't find the note. That means... he's the accomplice? What are you thinking, Conrad? Let's assume the bombing was a separate incident from the terrorist ambush. He's the accomplice, and he knew that the data he stole was fake. Since Trey stealing the fake evidence was part of the plan, then Skylar was in on it. That means the plan had 3 stages. Setting the bomb, detonating it, and framing someone for the incident. Setting the bomb was easy. Anyone could have entered the office building. Detonating it is a whole different story. It could have been on a timer, or a motion sensor. In other words, another untrackable event. Where are you going with this? Why did the bomber and his accomplice need to be at the dining hall? To, have a good view of the explosion? No, it was to frame Chloe. He needed 2 things to do that. The first was the detonation device planted on her. Second, her fingerprints on the item at the bomb site. I definitely checked my pockets before dinner. The device was planted on her at the dining hall. We can't assume that the defendant is telling the truth. I believe it is reasonable for me to be skeptical about anything the defendant has to say. Then let me prove it, with evidence. Let's start with the suspect. The accomplice of the bomber is... Skylar. Simpler solution is often the correct one. Skylar didn't find the note, received it himself. That makes him the accomplice to the bombing. Order, are you sure about this? Right. Yes, and I can prove it. We're going to check for his fingerprints. The fingerprints? Wasn't he wearing gloves? Fingerless gloves, Your Honor. Knowing that, I believe we can find the marks on this. On this. Eh? Eh? The way I see it is this. Skylar was meant to plant the detonator on Chloe. That would mean his fingerprints could be on the device. I'm curious to see the result. Start the analysis. The simplest way to plant the device on her would be with a distraction. Something happened that allowed Skylar to sneakily put this in her pocket. Hold on a second. It was something that happened before the explosion. Something that grabbed everyone's attention. Wait a minute. That's it. I know who the culprit is. You do? That's right. This is it. Mastermind behind this whole affair. It's the senator, isn't it? It's a bit of a long shot, but it has to be the truth. The true culprit was Senator Vilmar. Yeah, we're flowing now. What? The host of the dinner? That's right. What led to this conclusion was his speech. The speech. Before the bomb went off, he spoke to the whole group. Using that as a distraction, Skylar planted the device on Chloe. Isn't that right? No! If the detonation device was on the human Chloe, then wouldn't she be the one who caused the bomb to go off? Well... But I would have done it unknowingly. That's right, she can't be blamed for accidentally pushing the trigger. I mean, you could have pushed the trigger and then dropped it in her pocket. That's like a double distraction. The fact is, Vilmar is the one who planned this whole thing. That is just speculation. We cannot be certain. There, the fingerprint analysis has returned. What are the results? Positive, sir. Skylar's fingerprints are on the device. In fact, the only fingerprints on the device were Skylar's, sir. And he pushed it. That means my theory is correct. You planted this on Chloe after you detonated it. But tell the truth already. There's nothing you can hide anymore. You worked with Vilmar to frame Chloe for the bombing. Confess. You got me. I put the blasted thing in Chloe's pocket. So I was right. Why would you do this to her? She's just an innocent student. I didn't want to. I was forced to. Forced? Vilmar, he knew. He knew I had the zero data. What? He threatened to tell the terrorists. Though it looks like they found out anyways. So if you didn't plant the device, that he'd send Trey after you. Is he up above Trey, or...? See, my theory was... made him the perfect accomplice to Trey, but... Huh. Maybe he just told Trey anyway. I didn't know it'd be a bombing. Please, you have to forgive me. He didn't tell me details. I didn't even think he'd bomb a building. I had to do it. My life was on the line. I see. Conrad, we did it. This proves I'm innocent. Objection? No, not yet. What? Cross, it's alright. I think we're ready to pass a verdict. We have a criminal that just confessed to his crime. Without the detonation device, the prosecution can't prove a thing. We were foolish to suspect such a young student. No, we're not done here. What? But... there's still the matter of the fingerprints at the crime scene. Vilmar needs to pay for his crime. There's so much we don't know. I demand he be brought to the witness stand immediately. He will be punished, I guarantee you. Yeah, you don't need to do this. We can find him on our own and charge him. No, I earned this. Need to see him. Need to prove his guilt in front of the court. Bold. I guess there are still a few things we don't understand. This is also a nice change-up from normal Ace Attorney workings, where the true culprit hasn't actually taken the stand before he proved he was the true culprit. And there's actually firm words from staff to say that, prosecution to say that we're gonna punish him. Very well, we shall summon him here to answer for the severity of his crimes. If he even is guilty. We need to know why Vilmar did this. Why did he know about Skylar and the Zero data? How did he plant the bomb? Was he working with the terrorists? We will take a short recess while he is called to the court. 20 minutes. Dismissed. Senator Vilmar, you were accused of planning the bomb that went off yesterday. Oh, what? This is insane! Conrad, don't do this. Senator Vilmar, you've deceived us all with your harmless exterior. You've been hiding something very important. I will expose your lie for what it is. An illusion. So that's how it's going to be. You've endangered the life of my assistant with your trickery. For that, I sentence you to rot in prison. Damn, savage. The only such thing that will happen is by my hand. You're not mistaken, Your Honor. However, before this trial is over, I'll convince you to see the light of reason. You can't do this. This is injustice. Now testify. Prove to the court that you're innocent. If you can do that, I'll retract my statement. Senator Vilmar, please explain why we ought to believe you are not the culprit. Do you think it was me because I gave a speech? And the note, you think I typed it? I don't even have a computer. Bah, a terrorist attacked us. How could it not be them? Their fake bomb in the basement is a clear indication that they're involved. That girl, she's working with them. Check the detonation trigger. It was in her pocket, not mine. Check it again. You'll find that my fingerprints are not on that device. So you're innocent because your fingerprints aren't on the detonation trigger. That's right, see? It couldn't have been me. Well, Human Cross, I don't see how you can refute this. Oh, there has to be a way. I just have to go over the testimony again. Yeah, it's handwritten, son. Hold on. We just said that you didn't type the note. That can't be, because this note was handwritten. What does it matter? The human witness simply made a human error. No, that can't be it. Something more here. Have the analyst check the note again. Tell them to see if it really is handwritten. Huh. What? I just slipped up is all. Can't you see I'm not guilty? Your assistant there, she's guilty. Detonation trigger. Pressed her with intent. The bomb went off because of her. Yeah, objection, son. It's not possible for Chloe to have pressed the detonation trigger. Really? Yes, I understand the problem now. I'm going to contradict this piece of evidence. The device itself should explain what I mean. Further, we performed an analysis on it for fingerprints. Well, it's true that your fingerprints weren't on the device, neither were Chloe's. if she was to press the button on purpose, she would use her bare fingers. Since her fingerprints weren't found, that means she didn't press it. Simple enough. I see. That does help to clear the defendant's name. Sorry to interrupt. We just got word from the analysis team. Note is indeed printed, not handwritten, sir. Printed? That's right, Your Honor. This note was made on a computer. It's probably made to look handwritten in some computer program. Which means it is pointless to analyze the handwriting. Explains how they were able to wipe off the prints without messing with the writing. There goes that lead. No matter. We'll just have to get him another way. Hold on. Wiped off the fingerprints. Ah, that's it. The fingerprints on the detonator were wiped off. And when would the human defendant have time for such a task? That's right, it happened during your speech. But everyone was held down by the terrorists. There would have hardly been time to wipe off this device without suspicion. Who said that? I did. Oh no. Does he really do object every time he's on the stand? Apologies for the late notice, but there's an important discovery we just made. Discovery, what is it? A detonator. It contains a built-in timer. Timer? So the trigger doesn't activate right away. That's right. Down the lab, they say that in order for the trigger message to be sent, the device first needs to establish a connection to arm the bomb. It would require 2 full hours to arm before the detonation message is sent. So what you're saying is there's a 2-stage detonation process. Yep, that's right. Interesting. That answers the problem I had with the, timing. My thought was just press the trigger and then slip it in her pocket, but this works too. Let me get this straight. First, the device sends a signal to arm the bomb. Then, 2 hours later, it detonates automatically. Ah, that means they could have pressed the button before the speech. She could have wiped the fingerprints long before the terrorists arrived. Wait, the thing wasn't even in my pocket until after the bomb went off. Unfortunately, if you're unable to prove your claim, we must accept this as a possibility. And how did Skylar's fingerprints get on it? No, this scenario is not possible. Order. Oh, Mr. Cross, please explain yourself. Certainly. This piece of evidence will make everything clear. Skylar's fingerprints? Does the court recall the original description of the detonation trigger? Yes, it was found in the accused's pocket. There's one other thing, the effective range. As discussed earlier, Chloe was at my office until 6:30. So we know the bomb takes 2 hours to arm. And the bomb went off at 7:20. That means the time the trigger was pressed was 5:20. Correct. This means the trigger was pressed while Chloe was at my office. What does that have to do with the range? Look at this map. It clearly shows that my office was more than 1 mile from the bomb. Yet according to the original description, half a mile was the maximum range of the detonation trigger. This proves beyond a doubt that Chloe couldn't have pressed the trigger at 5:20. Ah, you're right. Very well. Let us ask the human witness what he was doing at 5:20. Not again. It's me! Detective! Sorry to interrupt again. We just discovered something critical. Critical. Explain yourself clearly, human. The autopsy, it's been corrected. Corrected? You mean... Good news is there's now a time estimate. Good news. Does that mean... Yep, there's bad news as well. And what about the bad news? Well, just see for yourself. Date was March 19th. What? But that's... Huh? A whole day before the bomb exploded? That's right, he was dead long before the bomb went off. Well, damn, this is throwing twists and turns left and right. This raises so many questions. So the bomb didn't kill the victim? Yes, the autopsy only said he was crushed. That means the victim's murder was a separate incident from the bombing. Well, you have fun with that revelation. I'm gonna get lunch later. The victim likely didn't die at the office building. Well, in that case, pathetically, even if you did convict me for the bombing, I couldn't be charged for murder. Murder is not the only crime involved here. This changes nothing. A bombing is still a bombing. Actually, how can we be sure that the senator didn't kill the victim? What are you trying to claim now? We need to worry about is why Vilmar would plan a bomb at all. It's a simple answer. He needed to hide this person. The victim. Isaac Bryan, or rather, his corpse. Did he run him over in the parking garage or something? His corpse. Bombing was a clever disguise for the actual murder. In other words, the collapsing building hid the fact that Bryan died somewhere else. Just where did he die then? And just where did he die then? This piece of evidence points to the true location of his death. The blood that was found in the parking lot belonged to Bryan. This is likely where he actually died. At the basement level of the dining hall. What does that mean for Senator Vilmar? Means, well, Vilmar was preparing his dinner for the 20th. He murdered Isaac Bryan at the basement level parking lot. You have no proof. This is conjecture. That's right, you have nothing on me. Chloe, I need you to call Thorne. I can't. Huh? Why not? Remember, I lost my phone yesterday. Is there someone else we couldn't get him? Bailiff, listen to the defense's request. I'd like you to ask Darren Thorne to do a fingerprint analysis on the fake bomb. Right away, sir. The fake bomb. Yes, if I'm right, we'll have our proof soon enough. Interesting. Downfall of a criminal. How exciting. I don't like you, Crawford. There, the results are back. That was fast. Looks as if Dare already had an analysis ready to go, sir. Fingerprints show that the item was touched by the victim, Isaac Bryan. Oh. The victim? Again? This wasn't what I was expecting, but I can make this work. The fake bomb wasn't prepared by the terrorists. As Bryan died 2 days ago, he must have touched this device before the attack. Ah, that can't be. Fine, but the terrorists didn't make the device. That still doesn't mean I had anything to do with it. This is my last shot. Let's see how he responds to this. Let's talk about the dinner event. You personally handed out invitations, right? Yes, I treat all my guests with the respect deserved by inviting them in person. As we discussed in Chloe's testimony, you handed me an invitation. Around 2 p.m. yesterday, correct? Yes, that sounds right. Who else did you invite that day? Well, let's see. Prince Thorne, Ajax there. I also invited Miss Towers and Miss Flowers. Hold up a second. What time did you give Miss Flowers her invitation? If I recall correctly, it was around 4 p.m. Interesting. 4 p.m. We've heard this time earlier in the trial. This time, Flowers is in the office building that is now rubble. So you handed her the invitation at the scene of the crime. That's convenient. Order. Order. Are you saying that's when the senator planted the bomb? Not just that, Your Honor. He planted something else there as well. something else. Namely, an item that belonged to this person. An item that belonged to Chloe McCarthy was put at the scene. I'm not following. The order in which Villamar handed out his invitations is key here. First he visited my office. Chloe was there as well. No, she didn't meet him. Took something from the room while we weren't looking. Then he planted it at Flowers' office. And what item are you talking about? This piece of evidence should explain what I'm talking about. I assume we'll start with this and then go back to Chloe's phone. This device that contained Chloe's fingerprints was taken from our office and put at the crime scene at 4 p.m. But what was it? It was Chloe's phone. I remember now. She lost it before the dinner yesterday. You can't mean... That's right. We thought were two separate pieces of evidence. We're actually one item. There we have it. The defendant's phone is actually the device we thought was part of the bomb. That's right. This explains why Chloe's fingerprints were found on it. What? So you stole my phone? No, I didn't do that. Preposterous. Of course, I'm sure the senator took precautions in this plan. There won't be any trace of his fingerprints. However, we did try something yesterday that gave us a clue. Oh, he called my phone! Chloe wouldn't let it go. So for hours on end, starting at around 3 p.m., called her phone, trying to find it. I see. The ringer would pinpoint its location. Only we didn't hear it at all. It had left the office. Assuming the phone was ringing the whole time, two people should have heard our calls. First was Senator Villamar, of course. Another. Flowers again? It is true that Villamar handed out his invitations in person. Then Miss Flowers should have heard our call when she received hers. But... Call her to the stand immediately. And that's why we set up Chloe with, Dare's song as her ringtone. Very well. Witness is now ready. Comrade, it's true! I heard the phone, I heard it! You really heard it! Your Honor, this is irrefutable testimony that proves Villamar was at fault. The human cross is hasty. He overlooks a simple possibility. Possibility? It is quite possible that the human senator's phone was being called as well. To put it bluntly, there is no way of knowing if the phone heard by Miss Flowers actually belonged to the human Chloe. Yeah, there is. Is that really true? Is there no way to know if Villamar stole her phone? Conrad, I'm sorry. I tried. Does the Vince have anything else to say? Your Honor, I would like to... Yes? I would like to prove to the court that Chloe's phone was stolen by Villamar. Do you plan to do that? Sit, no turning back now. Time to think. I have to use everything I've learned. I'll need the attention of Miss Flowers for this demonstration. Me? I know someone who can prove to Miss Flowers that she did hear Chloe's phone. This person is... Double Dare! Detective Dare, call him up to the stand right away. Didn't he go out for lunch? We need him here now. I'm here, relax. Now what did you need me for? I need you to play your mix. Mix? Is this some sort of joke? Mix, sweet jams, got it, play it. Well, wait. Comrade, that's it. I get it now. Song. That's the song. That's what I heard coming from the phone that Villamar had. Is this true? Is this her ringtone? Yes, this is her ringtone. As you can see, it's very distinct. Miss Flowers remembered it in a heartbeat. Hold up, how do we know this was Chloe's phone? What if the human Vilmar's phone also had this song as his ringtone? Not possible. I only finished the song yesterday. Only two people in existence own this file. Me and Chloe over there. Your Honor, this is the evidence you were looking for. It's impossible for Miss Flowers to have misheard this, song. Proven beyond a doubt that Vilmar has stolen Chloe's phone. I won't let you do this. This is what really happened. First, Vilmar encountered Brian at the basement level. Just had a fight over the fake bomb. And why would you say that? Because the bomb had Brian's fingerprints. In that case, I find it unlikely that the bomb belonged to Vilmar. What? But you just accused him of bombing the office building. The fake bomb contained only Brian's fingerprints. As we know, its purpose was to scare someone into thinking it was real. And we can assume that the one being threatened didn't touch it. Therefore, Brian was the one that threatened Vilmar with the fake bomb. Stop this at once, I'm begging you! In response, the senator killed Brian. In a hurry, he tried to move the body, but realized there was nowhere to hide it. That's when he formulated his plan to collapse a building on him. Surely there were better ways to hide his crime. Maybe true, but I'll bet there was another motive for the bombing. Regardless, what matters is that the body was moved to the office building. The next day, Vilmar's plan set into motion. He visited my office and stole Chloe's phone. And he went to Miss Flowers and planted the bomb. He also dropped the phone after speaking to the Flowers. At 5:20, he pressed the detonation trigger, which armed the bomb. Then once he returned to the dining hall, he made his speech. Meantime, he blackmailed Skylar and forced him to put the detonator on Chloe. The details of the detonation process were still unknown. It would be the perfect alibi. Everyone could see that Vilmar didn't press the trigger. What he didn't expect was that crash from the terrorists. When Trey escaped to the basement, he simply used what was already there. Alright, your story is logical so far, but there is one thing that I don't understand. If the human senator had a whole day to make his plan, why didn't he clean the blood? And for that matter, why did he leave the bomb the way it was? Because he didn't know it was fake. Didn't know, but still. My guess is he thought the bomb was using a proximity trigger. You mean, when someone gets too close that it explodes. That's right. He was afraid to clean up the mess because he thought the bomb was active. The parking lot was closed off yesterday to stop people from seeing the truth. No, you're wrong. My client is innocent. That should be clear as day. You are correct. I'm ready to hand down a verdict. Hold on, Your Honor. There's just one thing I need to know. Why did you do this? Why did you frame Chloe and kill Brian? Most importantly, why did you bomb a building? You. It is over. Confess your crimes now. You wouldn't understand. You'd never. It wasn't my fault. Explain yourself. Brian, he wanted to control us. Threatened me. That bomb. Fake bomb in the basement. Yes, I thought he was insane. He was willing to blow up the building. He said if I didn't comply, he'd kill us all. I wanted to use my political influence to push AI rights. AI rights? Laws regarding artificial intelligence. Yes, I wanted to give AI full citizenship. People like him, they're willing to give a computer the same protection as a human. Think of how many resources could go into medical costs, housing, food banks. Instead, he wants it to preserve his experiments. Well, no one's a criminal here. It's Isaac Bryan. Jesus. Order, please settle down. Senator, how did Brian die? Isn't it obvious? I killed him. Ran him over with a car. Used the same car to move the body. What about the proximity? Wouldn't you have thought the bomb would explode? He said the proximity trigger itself was on a timer. In other words, it hadn't activated yet. I didn't want to risk moving the bomb. Instead, I let the trigger activate an hour later. And simply left it as is. So you risked everyone's lives by bringing them to the dining hall. Relax. As we've now seen, there was no threat after all. Why did you bomb the office building? Those AI activists. I did it to send a message. A message? That building was the headquarters of the late Daniel Yard. Daniel Yard? What did he have to do with it? So you know him. Good. And you know that he's one of them, right? An AI activist. Indeed. Used to fund the Zero program. Zero program? So then... Brian wouldn't be the first. I just knew it. There would be more. As long as that crazy movement kept going, we'd never see the end of violence. Bomb threats, riots, protests. What's next? It had to end. That's why I destroyed their headquarters, to send a message. Don't look so depressed. Made sure everyone was out of the building at the time. I believe we've heard enough. I'm taking this as a confession of your crime. Bah! Take it however you want. The true culprit is dealt with. Brian is dead. You will be given a proper trial to determine the severity of your actions. But now we must vote on Miss Chloe's verdict. Counselors? Mr. Cross, you've gone above and beyond the call to find the truth. For that, I applaud your efforts. Not guilty. Ah. What an amazing performance by both sides. Watching a criminal confess is as entertaining as the crime itself. Well, well. Well done, Mr. Cross. You really made him pay for it. And the final vote. The defendant is cleared of all charges. Did it. Did it. Vilmar. Ah, send me away. Do what you must. Justice was already served. Send the senator to the detention center. That will be all for today. Court dismissed. Whew! That was a ride. Whew! That went on way too long. I'm dead tired now. So I'm gonna end the video here. When we return, we'll presumably finish up this case, and we'll probably get an intro into the final case, case 5. AI rights. Until next time, until then.